All right, here we go with game two. A couple changes to the draft. We've got Zaya Leona Rel Kaisa. Like we said, this is the sort of matchup we're going to see all day long with these champions, right? Someone who can stack up the passive for the Kaisa, someone that can hold people down enough for Zaya to get her stacking root. Jax versus Cassante. Cassante continues to be near 100% presence. Still strong enough, right? Despite all the nerfs, pros are just like, yep, it's strong enough. We can use it. And we saw that game what happens with a Renekton. Renekton overplaying his advantage when he was weak side. Ends up feeding away the kill. Never looked back in that game. The Cassante was always stronger. But that said, Renekton still has a job in fights. Very easy to play Renekton in end games. The scaling has gotten so much better with the improvements to the W. Where you can go find a target, get that assassination, go. Now let's see how we react to this. So we could stop for a moment. You see that this vision definitely sees Lee Sin, whereas they don't necessarily see Viego. They're going to assume Viego's coming over, but because Viego goes here and with perfect knowledge of Lee Sin, sometimes what ends up happening is Lee Sin ends up taking 2 camps and leaving. It's kind of difficult to definitely want 3, because then you have to deal with potentially Talia and Viego that might be coming over. Now, if you have knowledge of the Viego definitely going into your quadrant, then you have some better information and you know that Lee Sin can go for 3. You see that they did ping out the Viego, which means that they do think that he's here. I don't know if they have confirmation or if that was just a timing based thing where, hey, we know where they're going to be. Now, something that I'd like to see, all right, from this wave, you see how this wave is slow pushing in? You get the free win by Viego going down. The best thing you can possibly do is to create a freeze, right? Make that wave push and freeze on your side of the map, and then they're paralyzed. What can they do? Instead, they're opting for a slow push, saying, okay, we won level 2, but now the wave's coming into you while you're weak side. This is exactly what Slater wants, right? This is free last hitting. It's going to be very easy to collect all of these waves for themselves. And they're going to get out of this situation where they were weak side. So I would prefer to see when you go into vertical jungling, you pair it with a freeze. Now, as bot laners, there's a couple ways you can do it while still maintaining the minion advantage. And that's using your AoE spells on the backline minions. Another trick is to come step out, grab the wave, and then come back in here. So right at 138, when the wave is coming up, right, the wave is trickling up like this. You just come in, pull it to the grass. It will do 2 things. It'll make sure that the wave stops right here, and it will also make sure that they drop their AI, meaning that they will focus fire. So they will go and they will kill one minion, kill another, and the wave will push towards you. But to make sure that you also get the level advantage, you want to be using spells on the backline, so that at the moment that you want it, they're ready to just be killed, and you can take level 2 as soon as you want. This is how you can get yourself a freeze during a vertical jungle standoff. Now, one thing that we did notice, Viego was able to clear faster with the knowledge that Lee Sin was already on his side of the map. So what they're doing, you see how they're doing almost second perfect respawn timers. Viego's already in position to take Raptors, decides, hey, I'm going to come over and actually contest Lee Sin for the camps here, and actually was able to take something away. This is going to be a huge gain for Wales, the fact that they were able to get this. This will make up for the fact that they didn't get anything in bot lane. I love this adaptation by Viego. Instead of going for the normal, like, let me just go for your Krugs, there's not that much value in going this deep into their territory, because then what are you going to do next? Instead opts to take the Raptors because he knows he's ahead, comes and contests Lee Sin here. Lee Sin was not able to get the rest of the little Raptors dead, which means that camp, Viego is going to have an XP lead, a gold lead, and because of the kill is going to have a tremendous tempo and potential for carry lead here as well. All that said, we do have the almighty Jax in this game. It's going to be difficult to hold this guy down, especially later in the fights with Cassante. He can hold his own better than Renekton can. The itemization against Jax is not as potent as it is against Renekton. But I absolutely love this play by Viego. Well done. Now, another thing worth talking about, the ease of itemization. We're not seeing an early rush from Jax to try to play against double AD in the top lane. That's not a big deal. The rest of the team, you're going to have 100% AP here, 100% magic here, and about 40% magic damage here. Now, a little bit less with the lethality build that we see pretty often. If you haven't seen it yet, this is going to be an Umbral Glaive rush into a second serrated Dirk. It is the fastest way to get to 100 AD, but not only that, you're getting it with 25 lethality, which is going to go very nicely with your upgraded Q. So you have your evolved Q, it's dealing the most amount of damage at the earliest point of the game with lethality. So it's a very nice build. Most of the time we've been seeing this turn into Duskblade of Drakthar next and going for assassination potential. There is also another build that hasn't been explored yet, at least at this stage, which is Collector and Rageblade. That's much better against tanks. All right, so in this game though, based on who we see here, we're going to see most likely the Duskblade build saying, hey, I just want to be able to deal damage here and here. But that said, you know, Lee Sin's got shield. Jax has a way to mitigate the damage, and you never want to jump on Jax because you're definitely going to die. You need to, as a team, get that kill. Now, speaking of like synergies, hold on, we'll watch this fight for a second. Oh my goodness, K'Sante with yet another outplay. This champion at 6, guys. One of the things that they spoke about, they're like, we're nerfing K'Sante by making, and you notice in the patch notes they say the stat cost of his ultimate is higher, but that necessarily means that he deals that much more damage, and at level 6 that basically means he gets to do everything full damage for not free, but with a tremendous amount of lockdown. Here we go, Levi. Whew. Realizes his fate, ends up deciding just to get a little bit of chip damage down, but they're catching him on this Raptor. So Wales having 2 adaptations, one which is to take this camp and then contest, second time which is don't even go Raptors, instead go straight to him because he thinks he has timers down, and exploiting the timers. So this is something that it's good to see the exploit difference. But talking about the synergy of the team, K'Sante to isolate, Talia to stop them from being able to escape from that position. You also can create terrain with the K'Sante. You also have Kai'Sa that can help to assassinate. Getting Viego that first kill in the fight can be a huge difference. It gives him a whole extra set of cooldowns. But that said, when you are looking at these big fights, Viego wants to be in the middle of the fight. They tend to not want to just get one kill with just a pick. That doesn't actually help Viego that much. Okay, so when we're talking about what Viego can do, yes, this synergy for getting everyone dead. If there's a weakness to this Team Wales comp, that could be the execution, where you see I'm spending everything to isolate one target and get one kill. We're talking about ult here, potentially ult here, and maybe even Rel dying for that cause. That doesn't really help Viego get resets, okay? Something worth talking about. Let's look at this dive. Kick against the wall. Pallet going for the int. Thought perhaps maybe they could hold one extra turret shot. Did not need to do that. K'Sante is a nasty champ. Confirmed. Unfortunately, despite watching these players with a year of experience and having the best opportunity to emulate what they're doing in our games, this is a different K'Sante live. All of K'Sante's power budget is in this spell now. It is a ridiculous, maybe even the best single spell in the entire game now for what it does. It's on a super long cooldown, but you can get it down pretty quickly by ranking it up. But it is a different champ, and people are not happy about it. This K'Sante again. Oh, stepping into Counter-Strike, not even afraid, just saying, hey, I'm this much stronger than you. Holy crap. That is through Counter-Strike, 0 Fs given, saying I'm going to win this no matter what. And you know what? This is where I'm going to have to say that I got K'Sante wrong. I thought there was enough taken out of his kit for him to not just be the be-all and end-all. I think I was wrong. I'm going to have to adjust. K'Sante is just proving to be that good at every step, winning every matchup at level 6. Just too good. Maybe it just becomes a blue 1 or X in drafts, 100%. So Team Wales has gotten themselves a pretty tremendous advantage here, over 2k lead. They're actually going to get a big dive on here, very free. You have Rel, which is guaranteed setup for Talia. These two champions you see together a lot because of how good they are together. Talia really wants that one person who can guarantee a knockup. You used to see it with Pantheon. Pantheon would W into the knockback from Talia. Let's look at this fight. Look at the animations. All right, so we had a 200 HP lead to start. Just taking that. All right, beautifully done. Using Q3 while you're getting stunned. All right, making sure that you're using an animation. So this is called buffering. When you buffer a spell, you can either do it like buffering with flash if there's a cast timer, meaning like I'm going to start casting my Q and then flash so that my Q moves over. We saw that from Viego earlier. And then you have the ones where you're getting hit by a spell, so you might as well lock yourself into an animation. You see this often with like Caitlyn Q. It's like they're diving onto me. Okay, perfect time for me to cast my Q, which normally would have a duration, and now you just don't need to deal with this. Tempo. Team Wales is winning everything. They're rock solid up in top lane. Casante's winning this 1v1. They are flying around the map using the Rel and the Viego together to get these high tempo kills. I absolutely love how they're playing this game. And from here on out, it should just be enough of a lead to snowball. You've got a bounty actually already on two different champions. Kai'Sa already, like we said, on her upgrade. This is the combination that gets you to that 100 AD, meaning that she is at her most deadly right now. All right. Now, enemy team is significantly AD focused. So we could end up seeing a high value Zhonya's here and here. We could see plated steel caps here and here, making sure that we get some extra defensive itemization. I don't think Xayah's going to go for anything defensive. She wants to be able to deal the maximum amount of damage, but we want to see her get Navori Quick Blades. And then probably Essence Reaver to make sure she's always got the cooldowns available, but we haven't seen that third. It is the most winning in solo queue. It's the winningest combination. The synergy between Navori and Essence Reaver is quite high, and yet no one seems to put it together. Look for another play here. Hex Flash. You're seeing the combination of Nimbus Cloak plus Hex Flash from this Rel. Looks like she also has Celerity. Victor able to scare them off with his ultimate. This is a good use of the ult. A lot of people go for ults for kills, but ulting for wave prio is absolutely okay as well. Now, knowing that they're pushing them back, Kai'Sa's been chunked off. Means that they are going to get the push for themselves. How much can they invade now? You have mid prio. Does that mean that you go into the jungle to get the maximum here, or you just battle and lose Diego? Like to see Levi win that with the knowledge that his team is going to be at his back, but it looks like they're actually turning this. Victor opting to try to get a gank into bot lane, but the problem is that he was spotted by this ward here. So Talia's going to be able to step back. Instead, they're just going to go into good recalls. Notice that Xayah just pushed out this wave. Now she's going to come back up here. Oh, she hadn't recalled yet. They're legitimately trying to set up this trap. They did not realize that Talia saw them. So well played by Talia, not making it super obvious that she knew that she was weak side and that she had to play back. It means that Xayah ends up sticking around for an extra wave, and that means the demise of the mid turret. Xayah being late to that rotation means that they're not able to contest. Two people down in bottom means that they get taxed the mid wave turret. And now you're going to see with this turret gone, you're going to see inside out. All right. They're going to start taking control of the side quadrants because they own mid. You see this significant ward line that they have going on here, redundant wards even, putting multiple wards in the same place, saying we definitely want to hold this area. Cassandra, you can go be weak side. We're going to go take Herald. Now, if you're Gigabyte Marines and if you're losing, this is an opportunity to take a high risk, high reward play outside of the window that they're trying to funnel you into, right? Like they know anything that's going on here. You can expect them to do that. There's a Herald up, there's no Dragon up. So this right here is predictable. These wards are very predictable. So can you instead go and make a cross map play? Can you try to go numbers up on Cassante, win a 2 or 3v1, for example? Maybe go in with Jax, start to bait out an ultimate, see if you can get him to go and use your Victor teleport, which you're not going to need for the next moments. That's how you would try to punish this, especially now that you're looking at this shutdown, getting basically double gold value for that kill. Let's see what is our ending technique here. All right, I don't actually like that from Glory. Going for a W first instead of the E. Normally you want that E out to get the slow, and then you can try to knock them through it. See if K'Sante feeling himself right now. He knows that the other 8 champions are all topside, so this is an opportunity for him to flex on the Jax. Jax does have Divine Sunderer. We're basically a half item away from him being able to take over the matchup, even despite K'Sante's lead. Now, it's going to take a moment, right? Like we see here, we're already a half item ahead, and we have completed boots, which means that he doesn't really need to be afraid of anything here. But as we start getting into what's most likely going to be armor, well, maybe he won't go armor boots. He might go tenacious boots as his soul counterplay for Talia, and then go for like Zhonya's. You might see Spear of Shojin as well. And once he has those 3 items, then he's going to be happy to fight the K'Sante. But we're because of this tremendous disadvantage here, it's going to be a little bit longer. Now, something that we often see from K'Sante's, they will take this Bomby Cinder and not complete the build, okay? Rushing Sunfire, you don't really need help clearing the wave. It does help you to clear the waves, right? It does mean that you're going to kill everything in one set of Q combos. Oh, wow, here we go. There it is. E first for the slow. Doesn't get the knock-up. Ends up having to fall. It dies to the ignite. Wow. I didn't even see that. I didn't notice that live. A little bit of that overplay. Ooh. All right, I don't mind the attempt, right? You kind of you show people that you're willing to go for a steal, and it's pretty safe. It's Lee Sin, you'll be able to get out. You can jump in, always kick people out. We'll see if they get the engage here. Levi finds a kick angle, but this is not the fight they're going to take. They're just going to lose with their wallets here. Down 5K. Look at the difference between Artemis and Slater. Significant chunk damage going out. Now, I'll be interested to see if Zaya's end up picking this build up. Now, a lot of them go for this item right here, right? Kraken Slayer, because it's the single biggest damage spike you can get in the game for these carries. They do it. It scales up very nicely into the game as well with all of the AD scaling that it has. But when you talk about like just early game spike, if you're trying to compete with this, you can actually do the same thing. You can go Serrated Dirk, you can finish Collector, you can buy another Serrated Dirk and just sit on it, and then you can go for Navori, and that's the most amount of damage you can get from your spells if you're playing against a team that is largely combo-oriented, where you're not going to have much time to auto-attack. So in this game, for example, Rel and K'Sante and Viego, if they're diving on top of you, it's with everybody, right? They're all on top of you at the same time. When that's the case, you're probably not going to get any auto attacks off, right? You're going to be locked into not dealing enough damage. Now, Kraken Slayer can make it so that if you survive that initial burst, yes, you're going to deal a lot of damage. The problem's going to be a lot of it's going to be onto K'Sante. So I'd like to see some of these iterations where you have Collector, Navori, Quick Blades, right? Just have that combination early, go into Essence Reaver, and then get your attack speed last. You can even go with something like Phantom Dancer to help yourself kite. Yes, the auto attack damage is much lower, but your spell damage becomes much higher that way. That's how I'd like to see Xayah played specifically against a dive team like this, and specifically against the double serrated here. If you're doing tank into tank, frontline to frontline, front to back, I should say, then it's fine. I don't mind the traditional build here. You can go whatever combination you want. But I would like to see Serrated Dirk put into these builds sometimes as an exploit, as a way to answer a tendency, right? They're diving into us. That's how we're going to answer. Now, how would you get back? If you're Gigabyte Marines, how do you dig into this game? Well, you're not strong enough to fight anywhere here. You're going to have to give this Baron, and it looks like Talia is actually taking the maximum on the other side. So most likely what we're going to see is a push in here into wedging into the river. Maybe I should change colors. The river kind of blending. Yellow's probably easier to see. We do have a teleport right off the bat. They're looking for the kill here. Jax does get E off. Dodges multiple of the stuns, outplays the gank. That is absolutely huge that he's able to survive this. Now, we're going to see the opposite is true. We're going to see mid lane Prio. Now, do you dare to go here? Or are you going to let us continue pushing and then go and potentially sandwich you on this side and go for a fight while you're all debuffed from Baron? Instead, they're going to opt for the fight. Talia wall being used already back up. Oh, look at this damage. So beautiful. Kai'Sa able to go into the fight using all of her defensive tools. They're able to pop off one. Leona is dead. Now you're going to have B just locking down Caddy. Glory going to be able to lock this one up. No, doesn't have enough damage yet. Interesting. How did he survive that? Just empowered shield on the Q here. Dealing lots of damage back to them on the way. So Victor doing a good job. You notice how Victor ran them as far away from Baron as possible. Right, this is something that exists in the wild. If you've ever come close to a nest of a wild animal, they just will. Oh wait, oh you're hunting me. Oh no, oh shoot, I'm over here, and they'll pull you further away from where their offspring are. They get the wall. So let's see. What would you like to do to consolidate? You'd like to see an immediate kick from Lee Sin there. Even up to the point of getting them while they're coming on the wall. Kind of difficult to do that. You'd like to get that kick and then ward hop over. You don't want to leave Xayah alone. Maybe they could have used flashes right away, but I am forgetting whether or not they had flash timers up. Now, despite pulling them on that side of the map, it was not enough to stop them from getting Baron. Everybody on this team is pretty huge. So this should spell the end of the game. Let's look at Team Wales endgame protocol. This is kind of what we saw again from the other two series. Get crushed in the first game, then play significantly better and final boss comes out at the end of the series. We'll see if they keep their stamina up for the rest of the series. Looks like they're using their Baron Prio for the dragon. They didn't actually get waves pushing first, so a little bit of a coin flip there, but they want this fight anyways. They're saying, hey, are you really going to come contest us? We're just going to slap you with our wallet. That is going to spell the end of the game. One person's going to go pick up the waves. Now pause the video. Which wave would you go push for the end of this game here? You've got 28 seconds on the Lee Sin, 18 on Leona. The correct answer was bot lane. This is a little bit of a mistake by the Talia. Sure, you're getting another wave in, and there's basically very little that you lose for doing this, but it can be the difference between ending and not ending, all right? So you're going to come up, 2 inhibitors dead is still checkmate. You still have to go and make a couple other moves, though. You're going to have to see them get their recalls in and go for the rest of the game. But because they end up chasing, going off here, they split that damage. They don't actually get enough for the kill. You see that they have to back off. They don't have enough pressure. It means that they don't actually get anything for this. So a little bit of a mistake there. You want to get the maximum. I thought that they would have enough time to get both, especially with the Baron buff. But Talia not having enough. Also the difference between having Liandry's and Sork Shoes. Pen works on turrets, okay? Your spell pen, your void staffs, your Sork Shoes, your black cleavers, all of these items, right? They all work on turrets. That amount of mitigated damage can be the difference between coming up, and you see this build, right? It's a Liandry's and this. Liandry's does not work, right? Luden's does, Liandry's does not. Also, the extra cooldown's not actually helping you. So they do end up losing a bit on the turret damage. Also, the fact that you're this build here means that you're a little bit worse at dealing damage to turrets because you don't have that attack speed. But all in all, they're still, you know, they've got an 11k gold lead. They're fine to just come to the other side of the map. They're going to go push in hard. Now, they didn't actually set themselves up with a bot side win first, perhaps not liking the dueling potential of Jax, but they all have second and working on third items. So they would have been fine. I like this play by Gigabyte Marines, saying that's fine. All right, we'll use Victor's ultimate to wave clear when you get into our base, and we're going to send Jax over to this other side, and we're just going to try to play 4v5. And if you make a mistake, if you stumble, then there's a chance that I can get this done. Now, this is 1,000 gold, all right? This is a significant amount of gold that you get for killing this turret. They're going to use this to their advantage, and they're going to try to hold this off for as long as possible. I don't expect Jax to finish this recall unless he has seen Talia recall. I don't know whether or not they had complete vision, but he does have the read, which means he's out in time. Won't get any engage. But GAM gives the minimum. Again. All right, Team Wales not taking the maximum here. And Victor's one of these champions. Victor, Sivir, Anivia, champions that have tremendous amounts of wave clear can hold this game and actually make it long enough where you might see Jax have a chance at coming back. Talked about that gold burst that he just got for himself. Now he's got Spear of Shojin. This completely changes his dueling potential. He's still a full item down on Cassante, so he won't be happy about taking any of these fights. But I don't like that GAM has stepped out into the river at all right here. I can only call this a mistake. You don't need much space. You just want to get wards right outside, make like a little tent around your base so that you can see the rotations that they're using, but you don't need to get the other resources, right? If they're spending time gathering raptors and krugs and wolves and what have you, that's fine. They're not using that time to kill your base. It means that you're going to get the wave, especially the supers, trickling into your base. It means that Jax has some time by themselves. But they end up going out, which means Leona and Lee Sin bite the dust. I would have preferred to see... Oh, it looks like here I used his ultimate. You want to int for this wave right here. If you're blue team, you spend all your spells on the wave while the turrets are alive. That's your best chance at surviving. However, you do have a 3-item Cassante with a stopwatch, means that he'll be able to tank this past this stage in the game. And Team Wales would have liked a slightly cleaner end to the game, but looking strong, and this was their narrative all of the first week, which was lose game 1, come back, and make it happen for the final game. So let's see if they can keep this momentum up.